Welcome back. Let's find out if we've got anything wrong so far. For that, we go to TV's Andy Levy. Hey, Andy.
Hey, Greg. Before we begin, I want to take a minute to talk about something that happened Tuesday night. Around 8 o'clock here on the East Coast, R&B singer Chris Brown tweeted, "No more planking for me unless it's on a sexy lady, LOL." So I saw this tweet, and I retweeted it, adding, "You spelled punching wrong." Obviously a reference to the fact that Brown was arrested in 2009 for assaulting his then-girlfriend, Rihanna. But now, in the light of day, I'd like to apologize to Chris Brown and to his fans who are known as Team Breezy. To Mr. Brown, I apologize for referencing the fact that you beat the crap out of Rihanna. It was disrespectful of me to draw attention to the fact that you put your girlfriend in the hospital. And further, it was not my place to make people remember that you beat a woman with your fists, leaving her with multiple facial contusions, a bloody nose, and a split lip. I know that now. I also appreciate the fact that you tweeted me, letting me know that children conduct themselves better than I do. You are correct, and I can only hope to one day mature to the point where I can conduct myself in a more adult manner, possibly by throwing a chair out of a window and storming out of a building with my shirt off. I ask only for your patience. To Team Breezy, I would like to also say that I'm sorry, and thank you for your thousands of tweets, which taught me a lot about the creative possibilities of spelling, grammar, and syntax, possibilities I never even imagined before last night. In particular, I'd like to thank the female members of Team Breezy, who have taught me that as long as you can sing, you can beat the living hell out of a woman, and other women will still love you. And lastly, I apologize to everyone for using Twitter to subtly address the fact that I think it's disgusting that a guy who put his girlfriend in the hospital can, a mere 2 years later, be warmly welcomed back into society and appear on shows such as Saturday Night Live as if everything he did magically never happened. It won't happen again.
That's nice.
Thank you. Really, Greg, the only thing Chris Brown is guilty of?
What?
A felony.
Yes.
Shall we go on?
Yes.
Okay. Abercrombie & Fitch says it'll pay the situation not to wear its clothing. Bill, first of all, shame on you for picketing in front of the store. I hope your little stunt fails and that A&F remains as strong as ever. This is a big issue for me. I have a friend who really loves looking at their catalogs.
You know, the amount of time your friend spends looking at that catalog directly affects his workmates' productivity, Andy. So I think I did your friend's company, a favor. And also, don't have it sent to the office.
My friend manages to get all his work done and still find time to enjoy a good Abercrombie & Fitch catalog.
Your friend's job takes 5 minutes.
He makes it work. It's part of his charm. By the way, I do hope that Abercrombie & Fitch's reputation for producing high-quality, borderline porn isn't harmed by the situation wearing his clothes. Lauren, you couldn't believe that A&F thinks the situation is the first D-bag to wear its clothing. Can we agree that the only way their reputation is going to get any better is if they pay everyone who wears their clothes to stop wearing them?
Don't they? I mean, that is what their catalog is.
Yeah.
They pay people not to wear their clothing.
Well, that's a good point, too.
They're one up on you, Andy.
Yeah.
You're extra smart tonight, Lauren.
Why, thank you, Greg.
Yeah.
Somebody drank on the plane. It's funny because it's not true, everyone.
Yeah. It's true because it's funny. Penn, you said you wouldn't be able to recognize the situation if he were performing oral sex on you.
That's correct.
Rumor has it a lot of other guys would be able to recognize him.
Oh! Andy, that is an unfounded rumor.
What's that?
That was an unfounded rumor by a disgruntled castmate of Jersey Shore, and it's sad that I know that.
See, now he's going to have team situation after his ass on Twitter.
Yeah.
Think of another apology tomorrow night, Andy.
That's a good thing for you. The apology played well.
Yeah.
No, thank you. Thank you. I'm done.
Go away. See you later. Coming up, do rich dudes with money get anywhere with hot chicks? Lauren Sivan discusses her new book, It Depends How Much Cash You Got, You Dumbass Jerk. But first, we talk to Penn again about the latest in Libya, the instability in Afghanistan, and unease in Iran. We're going to talk about his book.
Good thinking.
Yeah. He's sitting at the table, and he's got a new book out. So what the hell? Let's talk to him about it. It's called God No. Signs you may already be an atheist and other magical tales. Now, don't run away yet, people. Let's listen to him, all right? First, it's true, because you are not, in my mind, the typical atheist in the sense that you actually like religious people.
I do very much. I mean, one of the reasons I wrote the book is because I like people proselytizing. I like Jehovah's Witnesses. I talk to them. I like born-again Christians. I think that's part of the marketplace of ideas.
Yeah.
I hate that atheist idea that you hear a lot that says, I don't mind people having their religion, but they just need to keep it to themselves. If you believe that someone is going to miss everlasting life, pray for them, talk to them. That's the idea of the marketplace of ideas. And we have really smart atheists like Dawkins and Hitchens, and we have really strong historical, personal atheists like Jan Hirsi Ali. But you don't have a atheist goofball just living his stupid life. And that's what the book's about.
Yeah.
Being an atheist goofball, living your stupid life, and also putting your ideas out there. Because I think a lot of people who don't want to talk about religion just don't want to have someone give another point of view. And I'm happy to have anybody argue.
No, I agree. And I got to tell you, I don't know what I am, but I love looking at the back of the back of your book.
That's just a career choice for you.
Exactly.
Not what you want.
Exactly. Believe me, this is how far I've gotten, just being confused and stupid. Okay, on the back of his book, you got some predictable, great people on it, like Matt Stone and Trey Parker are awesome guys. The Book of Mormon in South Park, they're geniuses. You got Lawrence O'Donnell, he's just, whatever.
Socialist.
Socialist. You got Richard Dawkins, well-known astronomer?
Whatever. Evolutionary biologist.
Yeah.
But Darwin chair at Oxford.
For all you people
the Darwin chair at Oxford.
Yeah, there you go. But sharing the back of the book with Richard Dawkins is Glenn Beck.
Yes.
And
Glenn Beck is there. And I'm friends with Glenn Beck. And Glenn Beck also, when I sent him the book, he really read it right away. It wasn't like, I'll just give you a blurb. I love talking to Glenn Beck. I love the fact that he shakes things up. And we get along, and he says kind things about me. And I get so much hassle for simply saying that Glenn Beck's an okay guy.
Well, you get hassle for doing Fox, don't you?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. People say that you should. I mean, Tommy Smothers went crazy on me because you should not go on Glenn Beck or Fox. And I said, well, what have I said on those shows that is wrong, that you disagree with, that you believe is not in my heart? When am I lying? And he said, well, you don't lie. You tell the truth. But I said, well, I went on Glenn Beck and said, there is no God. And Glenn Beck talked to me about it in an honest, open way and wanted to hear the dialogue. What is wrong with that? Why are we not allowed to talk to certain people? It's also compartmentalized. And my thinking on this was, I'll do Matt Stone and Trey Parker, I'll do Glenn Beck, I'll do Lawrence O'Donnell, and I'll do Dawkins, and that'll show that everybody can enjoy the book. What it really is shown is, I won't buy a book that has a mention of Richard Dawkins, I won't buy a book that has a mention of Trey and Matt, I won't buy a book with Lawrence O'Donnell, I'll buy a book with Glenn Beck, so the only person reading it is you.
Wow.
You're the only one who's not bothered by one of those people.
That's amazing. Here's the thing. First, I got to ask you this question before I get to the serious stuff. What do you eat when you know you're going to vomit later?
When I was going on the vomit comet, which is the thing that does parabolas and gets you in zero G, I was going on. It was illegal. Our trip on the vomit comet, because at that time you weren't allowed to take a 747 up and down like this. But I knew I was going to be weightless. I knew I was probably going to vomit, and I knew I was going to be with Billy Gibbons of ZZ Top, and I knew I was going to be stripping naked.
And
all those things were true. I knew I was going to vomit, so I'm sitting with Billy, and I go, "What's going to be the nicest thing to vomit back up?" And I decided Cinnabon. I decided that a nice Cinnabon would feel really nice giving that over to space. And then I did an experiment, because you can't go on the vomit comet just for fun. You're supposed to have a scientific reason. So we all know the movie Barbarella, where Jane Fonda strips naked, and she's on a glass table. Not for the reason you think, but to represent being weightless. And she has her hair flowing out and stuff. And I didn't think it looked quite weightless. So I wanted to check on the vomit comet to see what it would be like if I did the exact dance that Jane Fonda did in space, in zero G, with Billy Gibbons playing the guitar part and me singing Barbarella. Barbarella, psychedella, kind of like a conch shell of love.
That's amazing.
And so I let my hair down like Jane Fonda. Maybe not too much like Jane Fonda, but as close as I could get. And I stripped fully naked and danced while Billy Gibbons played the guitar. And the astronauts seemed to think that when I said, I'm going to sing Barbarella and dance like Jane Fonda and strip naked, for some reason, these heroes of America thought I was kidding. So when actually little Houdini popped out and went weightless, you know? And then I have rather long hair, and it came forward, and while I was naked with little Houdini bouncing around in zero G, I then vomited old Cinnabon into my hair. They were surprised. Whereas I think that there's no surprise there. Once you've told Penn Jillette you can be weightless on the vomit comet with Billy Gibbons, you know you are going to see my penis use Cinnabon and vomit in my hair. There's no way around it.
You know what I like about the story is that you named it Little Houdini and not Little Doug Henning.
Yeah, exactly. Because my penis is a classic.
Yeah, there you go.
It's a classic.
You know, we've only had, I want to take...
does not meditate.
Oh, that's fantastic.
And can escape from anything, including my pants right now. Look, Greg, look.
How did you do that? All right, I want to take a break.
Pretty good.
We come back.
I can do it with my teeth.
I've got more questions. You can look
I'm
at
not kidding. I can.
I got more questions for him because we still have to talk to you about your book.
Please.
Yeah. All right. Stick around, everybody. And remember to check out our podcast. There's a new one every day. To catch them, go to foxnewsradio.com and click on Red Eye. Tonight, we talked about, we talked about something that happened to me on the street.
Greg's an atheist.
No, that's not what I
just want to point it out. Just thought I'd throw it out.
All right, we're back with Penn Jillette talking about his book, God No. All right, I want to ask you this because you and I had an email situation going on when I was writing my book. You say I don't know a lot. Doesn't that make you an agnostic and not an atheist?
I'm going to answer that question for real.
Yeah.
I don't know why I'm choosing to tell you the truth, but for some odd reason I am.
Yeah.
Agnostic was a wiggle word, a cheat word, created by Thomas Huxley, who was Darwin's pit bull, to not use the word atheist so that Darwin could keep the Wedgwood fortune from his wife.
Oh.
Now, agnostic, the Gnostic part means knowledge, and a means, of course, null. So you're talking about I don't know.
Right.
So if the question is there a God, your answer would be, I don't know.
Right.
That's agnostic. That answers the epistemological question. If the question is theological, which is, do you believe in God, then I don't know automatically makes you atheist. Because if you don't know, you don't believe. And I, like most born-again Christians, like most evangelicals, believe that believing is a conscious act, that you're actually doing something. It is not a passive act, it is action. So I believe that to believe in a God is to have an action. And this is in theology very strong. So if you don't know, then you don't believe. If I ask you right now, is there a dead elk in the trunk of your car?
Of course there is.
Of course there is. Bad example.
Yes.
But let's say someone else.
Yes.
You could say, I don't know.
Right.
But then the following question, do you believe there's one in there? You'd go, no, I have no evidence for that. Atheist does not mean you believe all the questions are answered. It does not believe that I will not be Christian next week. It means that this second, I don't have an active belief. And it's all because one brilliant and hero weasel, Tom Huxley, decided he didn't want to say the word atheist because Darwin was getting so much money from his wife in the Wedgwood fortune, and she was a little iffy about the word atheist being said, just like you, Greg.
I know.
You and Darwin's wife have three things in common, and we now know one of them.
On that note, we got to move on. Penn Jillette's new book is called, I'm trying to think of the other two. It's called God No, and it's out now. You got to buy it.
Vinyl.
What?
Vinyl.
Vinyl?
That's the hint for one of the other two.
Okay.
I know the other one.
Okay.
I'm so slow. We'll close things out with a post-game wrap-up from TV's Andy Levy to see clips of recent shows. Go to foxnews.com/redeye. Back to TV's Andy Levy for the post-game wrap-up.
Thanks, Greg. Once again, we asked our viewers to tweet questions for our guests. Once again, it was a chore finding any good ones. Step it up, people. Lauren C.W. Ingram wants to know if it's a relief to be able to use your real voice when you pretend to imitate your mother.
Is it a relief not to sound like my mother? Is that the question?
No, backwards.
No,
Backwards.
Yeah.
Is it a relief?
That you're sounding like your mother now.
That you can use your real voice when you pretend to do
Listen,
I see.
yeah, do we have to explain
You
this to
read them, I'll parse
first,
them.
guys?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
I don't understand.
All right. Wow. Jim Cali Cowboy has a question for you. He wants to know if Miss Box of Junk is single.
No, she's not.
Okay.
If she was, I'd be with her.
All right. Finally, Penn, Nick Kuntz wants to know how you got duped into writing a foreword for Greg's book.
I am very fond of Greg. And I don't care how much people yell at me for coming on his show. I like him. You know why?
Why?
Because he's an atheist. Just like
Sorry,
me.
Mom.
One day he'll be out and proud.
Hey!
And also,
How much time do I have left? Should I just stare here awkwardly? Mom, this was all made up. It's just some kind of performance art we're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, then we're going to Mass.